is this about? So if you're a person who feels like you're not enough, you have this sense of doubt, you feel like you you you're a fraud and everybody's going to find out that you're not that intelligent or you're not that capable, whether at work or university, then this video is going to be for you. Because what you're experiencing is called imposter syndrome. As I was saying, that a lot of people have this experience, but why are so many of us going through something like this? So, as we were speaking about Lance and IM's work, they found out two family dynamics that can lead to imposter syndrome, right? So just like so many of the issues that we face today can be spotted and can be linked back to our childhood, imposter syndrome can also be linked back to our childhood. So the first one is women who had a sibling who had been identified as the smart one. So that was the first dynamic. And the second dynamic was that these women were themselves identified as superior in every way: intellect, personality, appearance, or talent. Let's talk about the first dynamic. If you had a sibling who was identified as the smart one, they were receiving more attention for being smart or having some talent or at a sport or whatever it might be. Then you did everything in your power to overcome that comparison and be better than your sibling. But even when you would receive good grades, you would just not feel good enough about it, and you would constantly be in this battle of comparison with your sibling. Whereas in the other dynamic, where you were identified as the superior one by your parents, your caretaker, or your teacher, when you went on into the world, into the real world, you had certain experiences that everyone does. Because you were regarded as superior in every way, that belief was shattered when you went out into the real world and you had like normal actual experiences of sometimes not being as good at something as somebody else would. So these are the two kinds of dynamics that can lead to imposter experiences, because you're battling with that childhood version of yourself who either was in constant comparison with their sibling, or who either was regarded as the best kid ever but in reality was just as normal as everybody else. And even if they were good enough, they couldn't just reach that level, that peak of superiority that they were made to feel. Now, it's important to know that it is nobody's fault. For example, if you came from a good family dynamic, this is my personal opinion. If you came from a very good family dynamic, and if you had a sibling, even if that sibling was appreciated or regarded as smart at something, um, the intention of your family or your parents is not necessarily to compare you. Well, sometimes they do unintentionally. Your peers, your seniors, your parents, they tend to compare you to other people. Sure, that happens, but I don't think it's anybody's intention to make you feel like you're not good enough. At a certain point in life, you have to own what you are going through now as adult. Of course, you cannot go back and change your childhood or what you experienced as a child. You cannot go back and change it, but what you're experiencing now is entirely up to you to deal with. A lot of these emotions, a lot of these experiences, a lot of these beliefs, especially a belief like imposter syndrome, definitely happened in your childhood, where you were made to feel like you're not enough, and then that translated into your current life. I saw this video of Gabor Mate, who has an MD, but he's a trauma expert, right? He was doing a podcast with Theo, this comedian or this podcaster. So on YouTube, I saw this short where Theo says, sometimes I feel like I'm fake. Even when I'm doing something nice, I feel like I'm being fake. And Gabor Mate says, what you're experiencing is imposter syndrome. And Theo goes on to say, what is it? Is it a feeling? Is it a thought? And Gabor Mate says that it's a belief. Imposter syndrome is a belief. And a good thing about beliefs are that they can be challenged, right? So that's the good part of this whole thing. It's a belief, it can be challenged, that you have to be compassionate to that part of yourself, to that side of yourself in your childhood that was made to not feel enough. Show that side some compassion. Go on and think about that experience. Think about yourself in that time and just be nice to you. Just be kind to that. Just be compassionate to that part of you. And that's an important first step to deal with imposter syndrome. Yeah. Another thing that really is helpful is just knowing that this is what it is, that what you're experiencing is called imposter syndrome. Just having a name for it, just knowing that it means something, that this feeling of not being enough, that this feeling of feeling like a fraud at work and just going through this constant fear of being found out, this has a name. And a lot of people go through this, a lot of people are experiencing this. Just knowing this can be a big huge thing to understanding and dealing with it. Let's talk about Dr. Valerie Young's research, right? Her research is very much aligned with Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes' research. She also has a TED talk, which I'm going to link below. But she said that people who feel like imposters, they tend to hold themselves to unreal and unrealistic, unsustainable standards of competence. And failing short of these unrealistic standards kind of evokes this shame, this feeling of not being enough. So she came up with like 5 types of competence. The first one is the perfectionist. The second one is the expert. Third one is the soloist. The fourth one is the natural genius. And the fifth one is the superhuman. So, for example, if the first one, the perfectionist, does everything right, does everything to the point, every detail has to be taken care of a certain way. And if certain details are not perfect, this gives them this feeling of they're not perfect, like they're not feeling good enough because this one detail has been lost. Their need for perfectionism is so unrealistic, which cannot be met, and this leads to them feeling like not being enough. And then they start doubting their abilities, and it leads to imposter phenomena. She goes on to say that if you really truly want to get over this feeling of imposter syndrome, beat this feeling, you must adjust your self-limiting thinking as to what it takes to be competent. You're never going to consistently reach that unrealistic standard that you've set for yourself. Never you're going to achieve being perfect all the time, right? Being a perfectionist all the time. Or just that self-limiting meaning of competence that you've set for yourself, and that might be really helpful for you. You should collect and revisit positive feedback. So if someone's giving you a positive feedback, just collect it, write it down, and revisit it when you have this feeling of or this experience of imposterism, right? So yeah, maybe keep a log of your achievements, your positive traits, your skills, and that might really help to kind of bring you back to this state of yes, you deserve it, you deserve the success that you're achieving. Like I said, just knowing that a term like this exists is a big first step, and knowing that there are other people who deal with this is also really important. And have open conversations about what you're going through. I cannot say this to myself enough, I cannot say this to you enough. Talk about it. Talk about what you're going through. Go on, tell your friends you have imposter syndrome. Okay. If you went on in a group of 10 people and you expressed that feel like you're a fraud, that you're feeling like you're being fake, that your success is not yours, that you're not capable, you're doubting yourself, and you're in a constant fear of being exposed, your success is just because of luck, trust me, so many other people will come forward and say that they feel the same. That's a big thing to deal with on your own, isn't it? If you went on to your mentor and you told them that, this was great, we achieved this together, we overcame something, and this project that we were working on is a success, but I just cannot take that achievement. I just don't think that I deserve it. If you went on to say that to your mentor, don't you think they will tell you, I feel the same sometimes? I mean, they might not. They might turn out to be like a really secure, normal human being, unlike us. But I do think if you go on and talk about it, it'll be really helpful for you, for others. Have an open conversation about it, and tackle imposter syndrome, right? This is not really a clinical condition. It is something that is really dealable. It is something that you can overcome just by reminding yourself that you're worthy, that you're capable, that you're enough, that you belong, that your success is because you are amazing. Just remind yourself that you're awesome. Every once in a while, go to the mirror and say, you deserve this, and it's going to be great. You've taken your first few steps. One last thing that I wanted to say, I found the questionnaire that you can fill, that you can answer to understand whether you have imposter syndrome or not. And this is from the the original researchers of the phenomena. It's the IP scale, the imposter phenomena scale by Clance. I took the questionnaire and I have my answer. I also have my score. I'm going to link it down below. Go on and take the questionnaire if you want, and see where you're at, what's your score. And if you want to share your score, you can share it down below. If you want to know my score, comment down below and I will share it with you in the next video. You just have to comment. You just have to tell me that you do want to know. So go on, tell yourself you're enough, and thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you're here, and like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video. Ciao.